Hey, welcome back.
Hi.
So, Pete, feel free to jump in as well with your own questions and answers as well. I think some of those questions are a little bit high level, so let's see what we got here. Um, what's the highest voted one? If I replicate something using an asset, will that just work out of the box on other clients? Like will it load an asset on a client that didn't run that code initially and just wants to replicate that entity?
Well, right now we don't provide any built-in functionality to streaming assets like it's done in some engines. Like I think Unreal does provide this functionality, but you can just send the asset over the network and just send the name of this asset, and the client can just load it. The way I usually do it, the way I would do it, and that I might believe just if the asset is known, I would hash it first and then just have a component with this hash. And then just create a trigger that listens for insertion of this component, and based it on the hash, it would load the correct asset.
Okay. So if the asset is in both users or both clients' asset folder, I still need to add some custom logic that will make sure that an asset will be loaded via the asset store first on a client that tries to replicate an entity with that.
Yeah, the simplest approach is to just have a component with a file name. But a hash might be a bit more efficient because you just can replicate the number. It's simpler, it's faster, but a bit harder to set up.
Okay. And from client, I believe that was one of your types that you showed. From client, messages are cool. Can I also make those go via the unreliable channel?
Yes,
I guess
sure.
this the event writer reader system, right?
Yes. So when you register the event, you set the channel, you configure the channel. You can use unreliable, reliable ordered, or just reliable unordered. Yes.
Nice. Okay, so that works on type level then, for a specific event. That's cool. And are the run conditions dynamic if I'm hosting a game and then join a game later just as a client? Oh, I guess, is that statically compiled into it, or is it?
Kind of depends on the game. Well, if your game can both simultaneously be as a client and as a server, then you might want to just do it at runtime. But if you do dedicated server, you probably just want to strip out the logic via either conditional compilation or by separating by using a different crate for dedicated server logic and for client logic. But run conditions are for runtime checks. It's for cases where you want to support server hosting and client logic in the very same binary.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So they will not automatically be like filtered out or compiled out if I, for example, have some feature flag for, hey, I'm server only, I'm client only.
No, they won't be. If you want to do that, you want to just compile out the systems themselves.
Yeah.
Conditional compilation.
We are already approaching the last question for you, Hennadii. So does Replicon support all features that you needed for your own game project that you mentioned in your presentation?
Yes. My game doesn't need any prediction or rollback. It's a very slow-paced game. So this is also one of the reasons why I didn't include client-side prediction into the core of the library initially. But in the end, I think it's turns out quite okay. I hope that in the future we will see some libraries that implement client-side predictions on top of it.
Yeah, more modular.
Yes. I would like to add some more features I think I will add some more features during development. For example, I think per component visibility would be nice to have. A quite requested feature, and we don't support it yet. We can the visibility right now is configured on entity level, unfortunately. But I want to add more granularity.
Okay, interesting. So in your game, how many clients have you had in one single session that you tested?
Well, I tested it currently only locally, so I just used server, one listen server and one pure client. That worked pretty okay, but of course it's just local testing. But my game is not pure online. It's mainly a single player game with online functionality that is optional. It's more like you can play with friends, for example. So I don't expect a lot of players connecting to a server. But I tried quite hard to make the replicon itself optimized, as much optimized as possible. We have a lot of tiny bit optimizations that I just couldn't include into the presentation. It would take a lot of time to. It would be nice to talk about them, but like I just have strict time limit, unfortunately.
Well, you can always come back, you know. I have one for you, Pete. This is now we are done with the questions from Live Ask in chat. If anyone wants to ask something else, please go ahead. I'm still going to be looking at it. But one thing that I was curious about the crates that you mentioned. Do you know if they're used in any other project than your own?
Oh, yes. Speak at Speak is using Bevy. Oh, sorry, Beatflow. Yeah. So yeah, Beatflow is used in a couple of projects. Yeah.
Okay, so you were also extending it already in like conversation with users and like outside of what you needed for your own desires there.
Right. Yeah. Hoping to make it a bit more accessible. The current version doesn't really have any documentation, but we've got deny missing docs for beat 0.0.5. So yeah, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Okay. Same question for you, Hennadii. Is what projects are you aware of that use Replicon?
I have a bunch of people asking questions, and some of them showcased their projects. I know for sure that it's used by NiceVoid, the one I mentioned previously, the guy who working on a Rocket League style of prediction. It's for an RPG game. I also know a guy who works on a tower defense. And I don't know if it's used. I didn't saw other projects. I mean videos of other projects, but I know that there are some people who use Replicon for their project. I just don't know any information about their projects yet, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Most of the time,
you get a feeling of the issues that people report, right? Or reaching out on Discord.
Yes. I have a feeling that most of people actually use just pure Renet and implement everything on top of it most of the time. Just not because our current ecosystem is bad or something, like and Replicon is a nice crates. But for some reason, people with Bevy like to roll their own thing.
Yeah,
so I know quite a,
yes. Wasn't invented here syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw quite many projects in project section in Bevy Discord that use pure Renet.
Yeah. And for both of you, is everything that you showed us compatible with WebAssembly as well, in case people want to use it for a project for that?
Yes, Bevy Replicon can be used in browser, but you need a backend that is compatible. Replicon itself uses only Bevy and a few dependencies like Postcard. I also think that it might be compatible with might be easy to make it even compatible with no STD, because we don't use any crates that require STD. It can be disabled in Postcard, Bevy itself, since recently, and a few others I checked. Like we used ordered multimap. I saw it also have STD features. We just don't have a backend that have an OSTD yet.
How about you, Pete?
Yeah, definitely. WASM and robots and little microcontrollers. So that's definitely a real priority. Make sure that.
So that's basically everything. Yeah. Did you try it on a toaster yet?
Try it on a toaster. That's right.
There's actually a question for you, Pete, in chat. So have you tried the GPU accelerated reasoning LLMs to power game behaviors, or just smaller CPU models?
That's a great question. That's where I'm at right now. Actually, is I'm working out how particularly working out how planning works with these LLMs. You know, they start to do these kind of let's think this through step by step, that sort of process. Sort of formalizing that, seeing how that would work is definitely a point of interest.
But then you would use the existing technology that's not like that's outside of Rust or do you use Rust specific GPU supporting LLMs?
Yeah. So Hugging Face has a great crate called Candle, which is kind of like the Rust version of PyTorch that allows us to do a lot of that stuff. Actually do all of that. In terms of inference, in terms of like just running LLMs, we pretty much got everything we need.
Okay. So that's what you're using too.
Yeah. I'm using that one. The reason why they built it was because they don't want to run Python in a server, for inference, for just for running these models. It's like, well, Rust is actually a really, really good option for that.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
I wonder how much Rust is faster when you use it over PyTorch. Does it provide any performance differences, or Python just uses C under the hood actually?
No, I think for the actual running of the models, I think that the performance would be similar. The pain point the way I understood the pain point is in a serverless environment, is spinning up a Python environment versus just binary.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, I think in LLM speech, the majority of the work, like it's going to be negligible what you save by controlling it from the outside with Python versus Rust. I think the majority of work happens in these GPU intensive, highly parallelized tasks, right? Okay. Super interesting. Last question from my side. We are approaching the next big Bevy release. What are you guys most excited about for Bevy 16? Hennadii, where you start?
I personally most excited about relations, of course, because in my game I have a lot of things like, for example, family, an entity that represents a family, and each family member is also an entity, and I have been hard time synchronizing all these relations by hand. So one-to-many relations is just like reduces a lot of code for me. Same thing with actions, because actions for characters in my game are also entities, and I have a list of actions, and I have to synchronize them also as well manually. Sometimes I'm even being too lazy, just use parent-children relations, but they are not designed for that. Actually.
Yeah.
So looking forward to this feature.
Cool. Pete, how about you?
Yeah. One to many's gonna help some things. It's gonna clean up a few parts of the Beat code base, but what I'm really excited for is many to many. That's gonna really change things. Just in terms of how Beat flow works, it's gonna make a few things like a lot easier to sort of work with. Yeah.
Do you know if that's still on the roadmap for 16?
I'm not sure about 16. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe a bit
Nice.
later.
Yeah. Okay, guys, this was awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time preparing a presentation like that. Took away a lot from that, and yeah, I'm just very thankful for getting up late in your case, Shatur, and getting up early in your case, Pete. So very appreciated. So big hand from chat for both of you. And hopefully, Hennadii, you get another chance to talk about the rest of Replicon next time.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, this was it again. This was the 9th meetup. Thanks for joining. Thanks for sticking around and for joining the conversation on the live Q&A platform. If you're curious about upcoming meetups, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Everything will be streamed there, and the recordings will be coming up eventually over the next week, probably. And of course, join the Meetup group itself. Don't miss another appointment. And if you're curious what Rust Unit is doing, then please check out rustunit.com. And thank you so much for being here.